People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Just as the big man Ian start again, retake. Just as the big man Ian Wright said there, people deluded. I'm back again. Happy Wednesday, people. I hope it's been a wonderful Wednesday for you guys so far. Big up you lot for tuning in. I'm a bit annoyed with YouTube, if I'm honest with you, because, you know, again, I'll get into it, but two videos that was not supposed to be out today at the particular time it is. For some reason, YouTube has premiered them, people. But it is what it is. Maybe, the YouTube gods and the algorithm gods know something I don't. So yeah, we have to keep moving. Again, big up you lot. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. I can't say I'm missing Arsenal, but I am. Again, we scream, we shout, we shake it all about, but there's nothing like watching your football club. That being said, it has been nice to kind of just relax from Arsenal. Of course, the only things really going on are, again, players being linked with our football club, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, shout out to Saeed and Faz. Their tier list has kind of been carrying over the international break in the last few days. Shout out to them and shout out to you lot tuned in. Smash the like button. It's Mr. Underrated, man. I hear it, man. I hear it. Smash the likes. Free Trent. You know what it is with Trent? At the end of the day, it's Real Madrid. One, in life, no one knows you anything. Two, if opportunities are presented in front of you that are too good to turn down in your mind, you've got to take them. Three, you want to live with no regrets. He's accomplished everything at Liverpool and about to win another Premier League trophy. And I'm sure if he signed a 4 or 5 year deal, Liverpool would win and challenge and do great stuff. And he'll go further down in folklore more than he already has. But if that all is said and done and he gets to 32, 33, or God forbid has a career-ending injury that ends his career early, you're going to have in the back of your mind, bro, I could have played with Jude Bellingham, my fellow English player at Real Madrid. I could have played for Real Madrid, which is the pinnacle of club football. When you think of Real Madrid, what do you think of? Yeah, you can say Champions Leagues and Galacticos and one of the biggest clubs and that, but I just think of greatness. It's the pinnacle. And to say you've played for that football club, but obviously I'm exaggerating a bit, but not too many players can say that. And also where you look at Liverpool as well, respectfully to Liverpool, he might be looking at it like, okay, what's going on with FSG? Because I think one thing that goes under the carpet because of what Liverpool are doing and what Arne Slot's doing in that, probably in terms of winning the Premier League at this moment in time, that's probably an element of what Liverpool fans, obviously they're expected to challenge, but going into this season, it was probably an element of that is overachieving. And again, yeah, you could, you look at FFG, they did Arne Slot dirty. The only difference between Arsenal and Liverpool is the obvious. They're running away with the league and all of that stuff, but they're as unhappy with their transfer market, specifically in January and the summer, as us. Had it have gone left and Liverpool, were doing what City's doing, it might be highlighted a bit more just in terms of the media beyond the obvious, having your three key players running down. Clearly, when you look past, in my opinion, Salah, Van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, it's probably a bit of contract nonsense, but you've got little rumblings around Konate, little rumblings around Darwin Núñez. I think they'll hold on to Alisson for next season, but then the season beyond that, so 2026-27, naturally, I think he will move on because they got the lad from Valencia. I don't know how good he is, but I'd assume you're not going to pay that money unless you see he's the guy in it. And I think we've seen it with Cech and Courtois at Chelsea. Arsenal, there's been a number of different goalkeepers. You can't have two number ones per se, quote unquote, or it's got a short life. So if Trent is feeling that, I've lived the movie, I'm going down in folklore. I grew up watching Steven Gerrard. I wanted to be like Steven Gerrard. I'm not going to say I don't think he's a bigger club legend than Steven Gerrard, but it's a debate. He's won bare trophies. He's done things, come from academies, had iconic moments in games. He might be looking at Liverpool and like, you know what? This might be the best time to leave because, well, second Premier League in 30 years and whatnot, and he's kind of reigned on the period. But you've kind of left at the top. Yeah, you wanted to win the League Cup, you wanted to obviously do better in the FA Cup, obviously better in the Champions League, but you're leaving at the top. Even if Salah and Van Dijk and Alisson stay, time catches up with everyone. So maybe he's questioning the long term, where they're going long term, what they're trying to do. Are they going to replace these players like Flack? And then you look at Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid anyways. You've got beyond the obvious of them being great players, they're going to get Saliba one day, but put an asterisk. Assuming Trent goes there, Bellingham's there, Tchouaméni's there, Camavinga's there, Mbappe's there, Vinicius is there, Rodrigo's there. There'll be some other players, and there is some other players I've missed out. Their project in terms of longevity, it makes more sense if you just want to win trophies and be expected to kind of do that. Beyond the obvious, it makes sense. Now, football is quite tribal. I think many balanced Liverpool fans, or many fans, I always say fans of football first, and in this case, Liverpool second. Obviously, they're going to be upset Trent goals, but they've seen other players that they've held in high regard leave. They understand you've got one career. They understand that it really is an opportunity too good to turn down. Naturally, it's very tribal. Yeah, people can say, oh, he's leaving on a free and this and that. And I hear all of that. He should sign a new contract so we get a fee. I hear that. And that there is some sense with that. But football's a business. It's easy to say, but it's not Trent's fault why the deals ran down. It's not Trent's fault. They should have given him a longer contract or got into these talks a lot sooner rather than later. We're seeing that where Trent's concerned, allegedly they've been chasing him for since 2023. So that's 2 years. So obviously that's probably when, or just before that, Liverpool have started to get in his ear about a new deal. Trent doesn't owe Liverpool anything in the same way Liverpool don't owe him anything, really. Had Trent not have converted to a right back, does he make it at Liverpool Football Club? All this other stuff is extra. You've got to do what needs to be done. You can't hold the player accountable because you flip it. He's useful until he's useless. It happens with every player. We live in a day and age where Lionel Messi, you think of Messi, you think of Barcelona. Somehow they effed it up and he had to leave. And he probably wanted his career to end. Obviously, they've messed up the contract. It's their fault. And then you look at it. So let's assume Trent signs a 4 or 5 year deal, commits his can you really say his prime? He's been playing football for ages, but I'd assume he's like 25 or something. Let's just say he signs a 5 year deal. He gets to 30, 31. He might want a 3 year deal, and he says to Liverpool, "I've come from the club. I've been a one club man. Come through the academy, all of that kind of stuff. Can you give me a 3 year deal?" And Liverpool say it doesn't make sense. What's going to happen? At best, you're going to get a testimonial and keep it moving. If I was a Liverpool fan, naturally seeing a man leave for free is jarring. I would say Arsenal need to learn from this on 2 occasions. In that, obviously Liverpool, they're winning the league, but it's a transitional period per se with the contracts, with a new manager, with how they're going to maneuver. That tells me on the best of days, whether you've achieved whatever, players can still leave. 3 key players it's an absolute disgrace from Liverpool as a club, not the fans and anyone, the people that are in charge. It's a disgrace. Don't get into that scenario. And Real Madrid, they signed the best players. They definitely can't be getting Saliba for free in it. So there might have to come a point where we bite the bullet and say, listen, Saliba is what it is. A fee is better than nothing. So yeah, man, I think people are going to do Trent dirty, man. All of this. And it's mainly Liverpool fans on social media. And I don't like when people tarnish Arsenal fans with that brush, but rip up his moral, do all of these things. It doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, football's a job, If he wants to go live in a new country, play for Real Madrid, a new league, all of that kind of jazz that you could do, who are you to tell him nothing? And Real Madrid are building a super team, man. Like Mbappe on a free, boy. And they even waited for Mbappe. Trent, assuming they really were waiting from 2023 to 2025 and assuming he goes, shows they'll wait. Saliba's contracted until 2027. You throw in Alaba and all of these guys. Only plastic fans attacking Trent. I wouldn't even necessarily say plastic. It's emotional. There's very few things in life that will get grown men and grown women moving mad other than football, because a lot of you in this platform, and big up Hassan, he can see as well. It's like you can't separate the man from the club. It's just you're leaving my club, you're doing us dirty and whatnot. It is what it is. And again, if I was a Liverpool fan, man, seen Gerrard leave. As an Arsenal fan, I'm not saying other players won't hurt, but I've seen Thierry Henry go, I've seen Bergkamp retire, I've seen Wenger leave the club. All this other stuff, it can't happen. And unfortunately, life goes on. Nothing stays the same. He's not a legend. Enjoy Madrid, but don't expect us to respect you. I mean, I got no skin in the game. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I mean, it's a bit crazy to say an academy product that's won everything, even the little iconic stuff. He's been part of some iconic comebacks, the quick corner, the way he's revolutionized in his own way the fullback area. You know, I don't know if Trent would be my right back if I did a Premier League Hall of Fame type of thing, but he definitely has a shout in that. Was part of the Liverpool side that helped them obviously claim their first Premier League trophy in 30 years, in my lifetime, that is. I'm not, listen, if you don't think he's a legend, he's not a legend to you, innit, or to anyone else. But as far as legendary status goes, I think I'd have Gerrard above him, but I think he's in that kind of conversation. Like, and in terms of respect, I think everybody's due respect. But at the same time, I do think that's a bit sour. And to be honest with you, as much as he cares, at the end of the day, he's got one life to live, you know. One, people are going to get over it. And two, whether it's Saliba or Saka in Arsenal's case or Trent Alexander-Arnold in your case, respectfully, you're a fan. But like, I don't think he's going to necessarily care that Hassan LFC doesn't respect him. You know, he knows what comes with it. It's not like he's going to a rival club. I don't think he's going to care. And at the end of the day, people are going to talk. People are going to have their opinions. You need to do what you need to do, because there's going to be people that are going to hate you, people that are probably little kids that are probably crying, shirts are getting burnt, people that are, oh, I can't believe you're leaving us, you're a rat, and all of this kind of unnecessary stuff. And there's also people that are going to say, fair enough. But at the end of the day, he's got to take all of that. At the end of the day, people are going to talk. If you want to go Real Madrid, go Real Madrid. If it doesn't work out, at least you know you went Real Madrid. If it does work out, well, you're as happy as Larry. And Real Madrid building up one super team in it. It must be nice, man. It must be nice, man. But yeah, in terms of respect, I mean, I'm sure when he goes back to Anfield, you know, it's written in the script next season. If he does go there, it'll be Real Madrid versus Liverpool. I'm sure he'll get a bit of booze and I'm sure he'll get a bit of love. When it's all said and done, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, and loyalty is a two-way street in football. Half of these guys at all of our football clubs that we've held in high regards, there's been times where the clubs have done them dirty, or underpaid them, not giving them new deals, not necessarily stood by them. And on the other hand, it's a two-edged street. Like, there's no loyalty in football. Like, it's all a fallacy. It's a myth. It really is. It really is, man. But yeah, good for Trent. Players don't have to be committed to one team for life. Of course, you want to see a one team for life, but bro, it's Real Madrid, fam. Like, it's Real Madrid. Like, it's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. It's his career in the end. Let him choose his path. He won every cup to win in football at Liverpool. Exactly, bro. If my man's not a legend, listen, I'm not a Liverpool fan, so I can't say anything. But if he's not a legend, that's a madness. That's an absolute shocker, really and truly, man. It's a shocker. Real Madrid already have a super team bar left back that will probably soon be Alfonso. He's picked up an ACL injury after signing a new deal at Bayern. They'll get another left back though. If I was them, I'd start the groundwork for PSG's Nuno Mendes. They're the most complete team in the world. Trent don't surprise me. Only one thing not to do at Liverpool, move to United, which yeah, he wouldn't do that. And when you look at half of these guys, yeah, like I said, the clubs do them dirty. Thierry Henry was on leaving. Gerrard was on leaving and joining Chelsea. Lampard was on leaving. Vieira always kicking up a fuss. And I'm not trying to catch these players out, bro. All of these players flirt with other teams. At the end of the day, it's a job. It is. Of course, if you come from an academy or if you're from the same country as a certain football club, that you do have a bit of a pull. But at the end of the day, it is a job. It is a job. Some are going to move countries for reasons irrelevant from football. Some are going to be like in Trent's case, probably Real Madrid. It is a job, bro. It's a job. And it's your job as a footballer to achieve, I believe, to reach your full potential. However you do it, to reach your full potential. That for me, I think that means if you're like Saka and Trent and Mbappe and Salah and all of these household names, maximize your brand image. I'll be honest, get as much effing guap, dinero, whatever you want to call it, as much money as you can out of this thing, because everybody's getting paid in football. They always criticize the footballers and say, oh, they're overpaid, which might be true, but the demand drives the prices. And in a day and age where we're, you know, unless you're doing the streaming thing, we're paying through the nose for TNT Sports, Amazon Prime now to watch games, Sky Sports, TV license, and the season ticket, merchandise, all these things. The fat cats at football, them man are baited off. Then you've got the directors, all the fat cats. If anyone deserves money in football, it's the players. Because if every player of every football team across the world said, F this, we're not playing no more, the sport's done, innit? Unless you lot all want to link up, you know, we can have a DG Nations League and we'll have, you know, one team, Arteta in versus Arteta out. We'll make a little, or a five-a-side team of that and have a little league. They deserve the money. So you need to get as much P's as you need to get. You need to, from a technical point of view, obviously become the best player you potentially can be and keep it moving. And for me, have no regrets. Because naturally, if he goes to Real Madrid and he wins bare things, it's on. Smash the like button, folks. It's on brand. If it doesn't quite work out, like Eden Hazard, and I feel very sorry for Eden Hazard because he always said that was his dream. He wanted to play for Real Madrid. Obviously, bloody good footballer. Technically won a Champions League, but we know he's not held in high regards at Real Madrid. He was injury prone. And actually, when you watch some interviews, I think with Obi Mikel, it's like it's well known. Like with a lot of them mavericky kind of guys like Hazard, Eden Hazard, they're not the best trainers and all of this. They're a bit nonchalant in that. But when match day comes, it goes on. Where I feel sorry for him is because he said people have that reputation of me, and granted so, but I actually was training. And he says maybe it's a thing where for years I weren't doing that. I started doing something different and ultimately I'm injured. Now you could look back with regret. You should have stayed at Chelsea or gone elsewhere, but at least you know I went to Real Madrid. It didn't work out. These experiences, good and bad, I know what happened type of thing. And is it really a regret? Because there's no guarantees in football, bro. Like, I think as fans, we get into this whole, you got to get potential and win trophies and all of this. It's a loser's game as a footballer. You look at someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold, best example, he's probably been at Liverpool from 7, 8 years of age. Do you know how many kids that he was probably friends with that got signed the same time as him, gone from under 8s to under 9s, been released? Half of these players, they almost got released at academy level themselves. Scholarships, pros, injuries, setbacks, noise, all the things said about him defensively. You don't sign up for that. There's no guarantee that you're going to be a professional footballer, much less you weren't officially Liverpool's captain, even though he's vice captain, but captain them, done all of these things, bro. This is all added bonus. We always look at footballers, and especially those of us that support like the bigger clubs, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Manchester Uniteds, the Tottenhams. No, I'm capping, definitely not Tottenham. I couldn't pass up on that. We get caught up on this trophy thing, and that's for a separate argument. But trophies are not guaranteed. You think about how, the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, all these leagues and whatnot, year in, year out, how many players from the top team to the top 20th in all these competitions are entering? Only one team can win. Only 11 players can win. Obviously a squad, but you get the point. This is all added stuff. He's living a dream, man. The very fact that you're a footballer, bro. And I'm a bit poetic with that, but even sometimes, when we look at players and we're like, they didn't reach their potential and all of these kind of things, all of these kind of things. Do you ever think on one hand, maybe, these might be legitimate stuff, but maybe that was always your story, I always look at that with Jack Wilshere. I think it's a crime that, through injuries or whatever happened, Jack Wilshere's name, everyone that knows football, and if we cut the crap and look at it from a purist point of view, one of the best players in recent years that this country has produced. And on the face of it, you've come out of Arsenal's academy. You won the FA Youth Cup, couple of FA Cups, the game against Barcelona, played for your country as well, played for one of your boyhood clubs in West Ham. You've lived the movie. What if that was meant to be your thing? It weren't meant to be. I think you might have even captained Arsenal. You might have even worn a captain's armband for a few minutes for England. What if you weren't meant to be what we think Jack Wilshere was meant to be? What if this was always meant to be your story? Who knows? I don't know, man. But good way to start, man. Zubi is a weak human being. He would get bullied by everyone. Damn, a bit harsh to say, for someone it's crazy. How do we know he's a weak person? Yeah, STL, you're a madman. Man said drink water, Wilshere. I think you need to drink water and lay off the vodka, mate. A man said DG Nations League giraffe Marcel last pick. He's not even here to defend himself. I hear it. Salah, Van Dijk next out the door. You never know. Obviously, it's not the same, but it reminds me at Liverpool. It reminds me of when we had Alexis Sanchez and Ozil. And again, hindsight, both of them needed to cut, maybe needed to sell both. Easy for me to say, but maybe find stars to take them over. It looks bad if both players go. Now, people get onto it. What message does that send out for Liverpool Football Club if they, after winning a Premier League trophy, get into a League Cup final, the boy wonder, Trent Alexander-Arnold, which for me would have, if I was a Liverpool fan, or better yet, if I was a Liverpool director, that's the one I probably would have wanted to keep. I know Salah's a match winner, top class, world-class player, one of the best to play in the Premier League and all of that kind of stuff. And you could argue you're going to have to spend big money to even replace him. But in terms of longevity and all of that jazz, I think Trent. But if you let all three go after you've won a Prem and there's question marks over long-term, Alisson, Konate, Jota even, Darwin Núñez, that's, probably want to bring, you know, who's going to play left back because Robertson can't go on forever. Haven't given Onslaught a managerial reign as well. And as good as Onslaught's been and showing, we don't know what the next year or so, because as we know, you can win a league. I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but you can win a league one year. The fans want you out the next year. I'm not saying, we all know how football goes, in it really. And I won't quite say the real test starts for Liverpool because it started now, but I think the real test starts for Liverpool because we don't know what players they're going to bring in. Anyways, even if they kept the big three whose contracts are running down, Liverpool fans, one thing Arsenal and them can agree on in that squad depth and all of this, they need long-term plans. Even if they keep them all, there's more players that are needed. So it's difficult. And for Van Dijk and Salah, everybody's situation is different, innit? For Trent, you know, you do hear Van Dijk was offered to Real Madrid. You know, in terms of ability, there's not a single club in world football that, if it made sense, wouldn't get Van Dijk or Salah. Where you look at it, obviously Salah's on big money, Van Dijk's on big money. You look at the wages and all of that. That when you disregard ability, it makes a point. I think Salah, if they keep Salah, then it's great. But if you're Salah, are you in a rush to sign a new deal? Because I'm sure Liverpool fans have question marks about where the club's going. They're at the top. You're at the Premier League. They've won the league. The only way is down or to maintain. And this is off of what we've been waffling about anyways, about transfer markets and whatnot. And I think Onslaught, why I even rate what he's done even more is because naturally he's gone in there. They haven't given you really any players. You're stepping in after a talismanic figure like Klopp. Obviously, Liverpool do not play like for like in the same way they do with Klopp. But I promise you, you will see next season and seasons beyond, assuming how long Onslaught's there, you will start to see more of a quote-unquote dramatic change because naturally you can't tweak too much too soon. You just have to tweak what you can, keep things the same, keep it moving. And I rate it from him, really. But if you're Salah, are you in a rush? If you're Van Dijk, are you in a rush? It's all fun and games. I just said it, like, there isn't a team that wouldn't take Van Dijk and Salah, but then you throw in the wages and all of that, then it depends what's going to go on now. And it all depends because they're at different stages of their careers to Salah. Salah and Van Dijk are at different stage to Trent. They all want to win trophies. They all should be at teams competing for trophies. But you do have to consider money. You do have to consider experience, you know, and you can't rule out them two staying. You know, Salah's probably, I'm exaggerating, but pardon me, because maybe Salah always cooks Arsenal, but like, I don't think he cooks us as much as when he was playing against Rob Holding and that. So I wouldn't even say this is the best version of Salah I've seen, because sometimes he used to absolutely ruin us and I was shocked. But considering his age, last year of his contract, new manager, all of that jazz, the way he's playing individually, this could quote unquote be Salah's best Premier League season. If he feels like I want to win this again at Liverpool, I'm comfortable, great. But you got to remember, he's been at Liverpool for time, you know. And I'm not, obviously, you can come to love Liverpool, but he's not from England. He didn't come from Liverpool's academy. It's a job at the end of the day. What if he wants to go to Saudi, get paid? What if PSG, or I'm exaggerating, but PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, these are big clubs in different leagues. They come and say something to him. The same goes for Van Dijk. What if both of them want to stay or one of them wants to stay? But like Liverpool fans, they're questioning, yo, are you going to get the checkbook out? Because Liverpool have missed in the transfer market last 2 years. And obviously where the frustration also comes is they tried to get Zubimendi, it didn't bang. Tried to get Lever, it didn't bang. Tried to get Bellingham, it didn't bang. They keep missing the boat in that regard. So if you're questioning how competitive Liverpool, quote unquote, are going to remain, then they've got a decision to make. I could understand if they stay, man. Liverpool's a massive club at the end of the day, man. Like, it's interesting though, man, but it is what it is, man. Fundamentally, things happen, man. Smash the like button, folks, man. Great way to start stuff. To answer the poll question, I think he is, since 2 DMs are leaving, but obviously we need other positions. I'll be real, D. I don't remember the poll, you know. I'll be real. I don't even know. I did that so early in the morning. Oh, is Zubimendi the right signing? 58% of you said no. 42% said yeah. Is that not sour grapes? But this is what I always say. Like, and still, I still think Arsenal could get Zubimendi. But I always say, on the best of days, I'm more than happy to talk about players and do research and makeshift 11s and all of that. But until they're holding shirts, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. And then you throw in an added bit of ingredients in Zubimendi. We've seen it with Arsenal. Oh, you're going to join us, yeah? And the thing is, to be fair, we have never heard from Arsenal, from Liverpool, from the people that make decisions, from Sociedad's people, from Zubimendi's people, as to how close or far a move actually is. What's being reported and actually what's going on are very different things, innit? But we see the same theme. Oh, you're joining, yeah, you're joining. Oh, suddenly I want to stay at Sociedad to be in the mountains or whatever and whatnot. I don't think Liverpool are going to fall off a cliff. They thought he was going to fall off a cliff now. It's just a transitional period, and that's where I don't know. Michael Edwards, the Hughes guy, FFG, they've got to pull their finger out. They can't have any complacency, because if they sit there and they go, "Oh, you know what? This season's worked out a bit better post Onslaught. You know, fair enough. We didn't win the final, but we got there. We bopped the Premier League. City and Arsenal blown out. Usain Bolt settings kind of thing. Champions League, all right, cool, but." We might be able to have done a bit better, but that's our fault. We'll hold that. You know, Onslaught didn't have a transfer market. He can work things. The only way is down when you're at the top. That's why I have to rate. It's a bit different, but Sir Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, beyond all the other micro stuff as to why they might have had these periods of domination, them man, they're like Slot. There's no partying for Slot, you know. Like, there's actually no partying for Slot. Don't get twisted. You and the players, you might see, where is it in Liverpool? I don't know the actual area in Liverpool, but Liverpool's trophy parade, the fans can enjoy it. The players can quote unquote enjoy it. Onslaught can have 30 seconds like, yeah, you know what? My hard work, first Premier League trophy, I'm doing all of this. But then after that 30 seconds, he's got to think, right, how do I win it next year? How do we do this? How do we do that? How do we go here? How do we go there? It's that. Because there's not the only way is down for Liverpool. They're at the pinnacle. They're at the top of the Premier League with no transfer market. Some people, I didn't have that, but some people weren't having them in top 4 shouts and all of these things. Everything's naturally a possibility because people have learned a bit about Onslaught. We don't know if one or all 3 of those players are leaving. We don't know who's going to come into the market. You know, when I look at Liverpool, I would say my favorite Liverpool player is actually this season is Gravenberch, because if there's one thing I thought from Klopp, I thought he could have got more of a tune out of him, and he looks I'm not saying he weren't good on the clock, but he looks twice the player kind of thing. So he's going to have to do a bit more of that, get something out of the players. I feel there's a lot of players personally that Onslaught's got. I don't think he rates them like that, if I'm honest. Like, I don't think he really, I think this season is kind of a make-do thing. I don't think he rates Szoboszlai that much. I think Szoboszlai's played his way into his plans. I therefore think he does not. I think he categorically does not rate Darwin Núñez. I think Jota, there's an element of ratings, but I think he frustrates him. I think he fucks with Cody Gakpo, and obviously the big 3. But it's a transitional period, man. Like, you've got the 3 contracts running out. You've got Alisson as well, talismanic figures. When you think of Liverpool and what they've been doing fighting City, not that other players ain't been there, but you think of Van Dijk, Alisson, this one, that one, and then you look through the squad. If Trent leaves, obviously they got Conor Bradley, but he's gonna need competition / a backup. But you look through the team, they've got one of the best centre halves individually and collectively in Van Dijk and Konate, and as a pairing, it's probably one of the best in the Premier League. Obviously, you know my club. I don't care about statistics. We can say Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, but you get the point. Like, they've got a solid partnership. Then, well, it's Konate on the right, Van Dijk on the left, typically, but you get the point. What's going to happen there? Because now you're gonna need to rejig that back 5. You know, next season, is it going to be Alisson? Is it going to be the Valencia Don? How does the back 5 unit, defensive unit, including the keeper, look? If Trent isn't there, what happens? If Van Dijk leaves, who is the centre halves? Really and slightly, the whole back 4, not the whole back 4, but quote unquote the back 4, because it's not going to be Trent and Robertson based on reports. It could arguably be, you know, new left back, Konate, new centre back, new Trent, new guy for Trent, new goalkeeper if the Valencia guy gets the nod pause in front of Alisson. Midfield, I think they're sorted. I'm sure they probably need a. I think if I was a Liverpool fan, like, if you could get a tenacious kind of 6, because like an upgrade on Endo, who's been all right, because I think Gravenberch is doing his thing, but I think he could offer something going further forward. And I think Liverpool have tried to get a 6 or someone that does that, and it hasn't really worked out. It goes without saying, like, you've got to replace Salah if he's not there. Still probably got to find that Mane replacement, got to find the glue in Firmino as well. So that it is what it is. But again, obviously it isn't different, but is it any coincidence that I wouldn't even say rebuild, but rejig. Klopp is not, the vast majority of that squad's been together for God knows how long. For some reason, I don't know why, because I just remember when they signed Alisson and Van Dijk, in my head subconsciously, I always think 2 years, but they've been there Salah's been there for time, Van Dijk's been there for time, Trent's been in the first team, but at Liverpool for time. New manager, things have to change. You need to rejig, need to bring a couple players in. It is what it is, and it's the same at my football club. You know, we fought for a title for 3 years. If you can call this one of this year a fight, fair enough. We fought for 3 years. The gaffer's been there for 5 years. Give or take, a lot of these players have been there for time. Is it any coincidence that couple man that in the 2022-23 season were the first names on the team sheet, for whatever reason, injuries, not doing the business, tactics, other players emerging, they're not that anymore, contracts are running out, need to address in other areas. Football is about consistently evolving and consistently doing these kind of things. So I do think there's many things Arsenal Football Club could look at and think, right, like you can learn from the Liverpool team. And also where Liverpool's concerned, on the best of days, like all Premier League teams, we know everyone in the Prem, whether they act it or not, if you go and buy foreign players, you're paying the tourist rate. You know, you're paying that. And also Liverpool might have showed their hand. If you know they're quote unquote desperate for a right back, a right winger in Salah's case, a Van Dijk, you might add another tax. And this is why I'm not jealous of football managers. I know they get paid or not, but boy, it is what it is, man. Interesting talking points, man. Interesting talking points. Keep them flowing, keep them coming, man. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big summer for us, not an overhaul, but a mini shake-up. Marcel, you said it there, mini shake-up settings, and it needs to. Forget all the other stuff that you lot have wanted. For the very fact that you won a Premier League trophy, there's no other way but down. Like for the like, obviously no two seasons are the same. You can say what you want about Arsenal, you can say what you want about City, Chelsea eventually are going to get it right. I'm sure Liverpool fans, at the very least, the club, they want to fight again in it. Like you want to retain it, sort of thing. So they're going to need to do what they're doing. Matter of fact, the system is made for Zubimendi. He's a pivot. That's what Arteta wants. I hear that with the Zubimendi thing, but if Zubimendi don't join us, what I don't want to hear, and I'm Berta, you've just joined our football club, but what I don't want to hear is there's no one else available. If Zubimendi's the one, you've had hundreds and thousands of people that you've been looked at. You've whittled down the scouting list. There's 5 of the 5. You've honed in on Zubimendi and Isaac and this one and that one. By all means, go for them. Go and get it done. But you see, if you can't get it done, I'll never get at a team or my team for trying. Stay with me. You tried your thing. If it does not work, please make sure when that window closes, you don't tell me we tried. Because I said it last summer and you saw it play out. When Saka's not there, we can't go warm up. We tried, powder dry, you're playing right wing. You can't do that. So make sure a player comes in. I know it's easy for me to sit here and say, but we've missed out on some players I would have loved. But unless you're a Lionel Messi, prime name, or Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, players of that ilk, you know, assuming Salah was this Salah that you see at Liverpool, somewhere else, and everyone was trying to buy him, type of thing. If you miss out on these players, you tried, fair enough. I'll give you that. But you see how the other names we're linked with, they're very good players, but they're not them players. My point of saying that is to say this: there must be a next one. There must be someone else that can improve us. Because we've had years, we've been knowing about this sixth thing, the left-hand side, the striker, the winger, the overall depth, the need to pattern up the goalies. I know it's easy for me to sit here, but at the end of the day, I'm just a fan. We tried only go so far. Facts, whatever happens, I'm just going to enjoy this title and enjoy this summer. A league title is a major achievement, and I refuse to let anyone ruin it. I think too many football fans, yeah, not you necessarily, but external validation, because people are sour. When Liverpool last won the Premier, COVID Cup, this, that, and the other. If Arsenal, look, a lot of people say we need to win the domestic cups, and 100%. Like, I want the Prem. The impossible dream is the champs, which I hope we can do it. I definitely feel Arsenal should be picking up league cups. But had we have won an FA Cup this year, which I think we should have at least went through against United, or got to the final against Newcastle or Liverpool, what would they sit here and say? Oh, it's Tim Pot. People always move the goalposts. It is what it is. At the end of the day, what Liverpool have done is what I wanted my club to do this year, or the year before that, or the year before that. And I can't predict the future. Of course, I want to consistently win titles. If it was up to every football fan of every club, you want to win everything, never lose a game, all key players stay, blah, 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 blah. I can't predict the future. But you see, if Arsenal's name is 2022-23 winners, 2024-25 winners, 2022-23, 2023-24, 2024-25 Premier League winners, it's set in stone. No one can take that from you. It's done. It's done. And even for Arteta, I don't. The club comes first. I think there's too much people that want Arteta to fail or succeed because of him and their like for him or dislike for him. I want Arsenal to win. But at least in Arteta's case, yeah, they would say, oh, you should have won it. It's been 3 years. You've got a leg to stand on if they see you picking up domestic trophies, and the players as well, and the whole club, and you're picking up a 1-2 Prem. Can say, all right, calm. Because for me, listen, the table doesn't always tell the truth, but it doesn't lie. Like, Liverpool are 12, 13, 14, 15 points. Whether we lost games we shouldn't, they won games they shouldn't. They blitzed us. How do you claw that back? Do I believe Liverpool are a 13, 14 points team better than us? If I look in August and say, yeah, they're going to finish first, we're going to finish second, away from that? No, I don't. but the maths does. Fix that. Fix that. Even if Arsenal won the Champions League this year, people say stuff like it's the worst team to win. And even that, they're saying it with Liverpool this year. They said it last year. They said it the year before. And to be honest, they did kind of say it with City. When one team wins the league, what is it? Oh, the standard of the league has gone down. Everyone else is rubbish, which there might be valid claims to that. But what does that mean for the, if you say the league's falling off and Liverpool are top, what does that mean for all the other 19 teams? I know what I would want to be. People always move the goalposts, man. But that's football. It's always going to move the goalposts. If I have a season, I've seen the goalposts move for Sir Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger. Great, man. Great players. Thierry Henry, Didier Drogba scores in finals. You never got 20 plus, got the season. Henry, I'm not even going to say the blasphemy shouts, but we all know the goalposts. Gerrard can't be a GOAT because he ain't won a Premier League, and they're always going to move. Trent, I always believe in, obviously someone like Trent, one weakness of yours is defending, innit? But I also believe on one hand, you have to accept footballers for what they are. Trent has never shown you he's a great 1v1 defender. He's great at all the other stuff. But they're always, if Trent plays a great pass, and you know what, Trent, if the deal's running down, yeah, you and Saka for England and Arsenal, we could do things, mate. We could do things. You can help us. But they always move the goalposts. Like the goalposts are always going to move. That's just sport. That's just sport. That really just is sport. So forget the outside validation, man. Just have to keep going. We already have a world-class 6 who's disjointed our system, being played left 8. Terry is a madman. But game is the game. Brazil are pants. Big up F, man. You always hear. Big up my mods. Haterade. DG, did you see your Brazil get smacked by Argentina? I did watch the highlights. It's cool, though. Do that. I said 2026. That's cool. Can beat us in that, but don't come and support us. Robertson has had his day in the sun, in my opinion. Time for Saudi. We play with inverted fullbacks. He'll be even better than I think in our system. Balemba would be the dream for the midfield proper destroyer, but you're right, DG. Look at the difference. Klopp rated Endo, but didn't rate Gravenberch, while Slot is the opposite. Some of it is circumstantial, but some of it, at the end of the day, yeah, football is just a funny old game of opinions. Van Dijk's always been my favorite from the Klopp era now. Until now, he's a rock. He's the foundation. Even that detail, we play with inverted fullbacks, so why would we care if a DM needs help or not? I'm not sure the point you're referring to. Maybe that's for the chat, man. For me, it's McAllister. He's been cold for Liverpool. Remember, MLS will invert for us too. Big up yourself. I'm not sure. Oh, you lot are having a conversation in the chat. We have the most athletic 6 in world football, and we have him playing in the 8. He talk more sense about Liverpool than actual Liverpool content creators. That's why I don't listen to a lot of them, man. Content, they just chat bare nonsense. But in light of tier lists and whatever, I'm just gonna say it now. There's someone for everyone, innit? If you want banter and agendas and random chat and geezer talk, there's someone. If you want people that can mix and blend, there's something there for everyone, man. Big up yourself, Marcel, for tuning in as well, man. You always say Arteta sexuals making Arsenal already favourites for next season. God protect us. But let's just deal with what's in front of us right now, man. Remember when they said Zubi to Arsenal confirmed? Yeah, I never got hyped about Zubi news after the Jan window. We all knew it was PR. Jason Ito's working on it, though, man. Top Gooners are hilarious. They rave about a player they've never watched other than 45 minutes in the Euros final. And then when the player might want to go somewhere else, they flip-flop and act. That's football, man. Are emotional. Like up until probably yesterday when this bombshell news happened, you probably heard, "Oh my God, like Zubimendi is going to change our fortunes." Now he's not that good, anyways. Salah always cooks us when we have the shadiest fullbacks at the Emirates earlier this season. He was silent until half an hour until our defense dropped injured and MLS was thrown in at the deep end. But that's what good players do, man. They either light you up from minute 0 to minute 90, or they're quiet for 89 minutes. That was a frustrating game. You know what? Beyond the obvious, yeah, this season, there's been a lot of like rib shots, if that makes sense, man. I'd say Man City away, fair enough, 10 men. I'm very critical of the club, but I think we stood up tall. But I'm just talking about like the last minute goal. I still remember the Liverpool one. Trent found, I think, Darwin Núñez. Salah put it in the back of the net. Some late blows to swallow. Pause. Definitely pause. You're right, man. And that's why I have to big up Tobiyasu, because Tobiyasu, you were the first guy a couple of years ago that finally for this football club stood up tall against Salah. Like, yeah, he can rip you, but he didn't. We've just come a long way from Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, them kind of man. Like, Salah is one of the most disrespectful footballers when he scored against Mark. It's the manner in which Salah scored. Like it was always, we got a high line. It's a mad Liverpool counter attack. He's barging everyone. He's weighting everyone. People are falling over like flowers. Mane as well. Mane was just ruthless with it. Horrible guys. Firmino the most disrespectful because he didn't score that much in comparison to them two. But come on, man, he's no look finishing and stuff like that. Stuff used to pee me off, but. Is where it is, man. DG question, but who was the better player, Salah or Mane? In my opinion, I thought Mane was better. Salah. I'd rather Mane just because I just like Mane. Like I've always liked Mane. Like you lot would see some of my earlier videos. That was someone I wanted at Arsenal. Forget Liverpool for a sec before he had a boot deal because Arsenal fans we definitely knew about Mane because he used to butcher us for Southampton when he had them yellow boots probably before a sponsor. So I've always liked Mane, but you can't argue with Salah in it. Like when it came to it, Mane's the one they let go. I do think Mane didn't get probably the flowers in world football he should have got in comparison to Salah. And I just think when you look at Salah's done, I know what people can say Mane is probably aesthetically pleasing, but I just think Salah is quote unquote the better player, but I'd rather Mane, man. I just fuck with Mane, man. Pick up yourself, Marcel. Liverpool be fine. All clubs fighting for top talent. Liverpool be amongst it. At least they'll be approaching players from a league winner's perspective rather than three-peat second. Trust. Well said, DG. As an example, did you see Will Zaha post about not being called a streets won't forget baller? Not every certain baller will play at a top club and rack up trophies, and it's true. For you are right. And with Zaha, you've lived the movie. You've come from, it's well known like who his family is in Croydon, drillers and that. Like you didn't go down that path. You've played for your boyhood club. You returned to your boyhood club. You've become a footballer as well. You've played for your country/countries because you've been capped by England and Ivory Coast. I just think when I look at Zaha, maybe you made obviously, I'm sure when he signed for United, it was at that weird little period where Ferguson was cutting. So maybe that timing is everything and that went against him. I think you made that move probably to United too early. I know you went back on loan. And I was at what year was it? So long ago. I was working at Wembley, man. I know I'm not making this up. United bought him. He went back on loan to Crystal Palace or something, and he helped them win something at Wembley. I was there. It might have been just the playoffs or something. They won something. Maybe you made that move to United a bit too early because you do see young players probably make that move too early. You could even say the same with Vinicius. Obviously, it worked out, but he needed it. Vinicius has come a very long way at Real Madrid from Benzema saying don't pass him the ball to being the guy. Sometimes I think the moves are made too early, so there's probably that. And then I also think when he went to Crystal Palace, I just think it was engineered by the higher powers that be at Crystal Palace to not let you go, because to them you're probably worth 100 million. You're a match winner. You're doing all of this. They probably priced you out of a move, like around the time where we wanted Pepe. Well, we wanted him. When we was linked with Pepe and him, I think he was kind of ruled out there, and then it's gone stale with that regards. But at the end of the day, like. You've played Premier League football. You've made man money. You have played for one of the biggest clubs in England, in Manchester United. You've played for Lyon. You're living in America. You've played in Turkey. With them, I'd hate to use words like this. I think he was at Galatasaray. Them man, there, it's a religious football following kind of thing. You just from your ability, you've toured the world. You've had some great moments, and you've put on for your family, man. When you look at it with that, who's really a failure? Madrid moving greedy. Zubimendi, Camavinga, Tchouameni. Maybe they'll cash in on Camavinga. Camavinga join us. We play left back. These man talking was about Zubimendi. Let's not cry when he's running rings around us with Bellingham and Valverde in the future encounters. Big up my guy, Catch. Off topic, but what did you think of the Ballers League? I ain't watched any of it. I rate the initiative. I remember the first. I'm not saying they copied it or anything, but I'm sure there used to be something called the Stars League. I do think they've rolled the dice. They've thrown a lot of money at it. You got the best content creators there. You see all the most followed TikTokers that ain't got nothing to do with football. They're there. They're getting eyes. I like the fact of, for me, like young academy players who have been released or people that are like that kind of thing, you're getting paid for £400 a game. I respect that. My dream would be to see some, maybe not so much this season, but seasons, people get trials and whatnot and go into proper football. So I'm a big fan of the initiative behind it. I do think we're getting to that weird stage where the culture and the mainstream are they're kind of crossing over. But I think we're in that weird stage where obviously these lot get numbers in it. They've got people that follow them religiously type of thing. But I'm always wary of when I see work around big brands. It is the same old faces. That it's the same old faces. Of course, numbers. From a business point of view, these lot bring numbers. It's all about the balance sheet at the end of the day. But I just feel it gets, whether it's the Ballers League thing or all the others, it does get a bit weird, like, and a bit stale, really, when it's the same old faces doing the same old things, really. And I think there's an element of that, but I do like what it could be. Like, I really fuck with it. We definitely have to start getting some watch-alongs going, man. He's quality on the ball, but in the Premier League, it's about physicality. That's why Vieira and Lokonga didn't work. I think Vieira moans too much, man. London don't have mountains. Zubimendi likes to be near mountains. As you said, think of the amount of pro ballers currently playing. How many of them ever get the opportunity to play for their boyhood club as well as win with them? He's lived damn near every fan's dream. Plus, it's real F in Madrid when they call you Bop. Exactly, bro. When we all wanted to be footballers as little kids, I'm not saying we wanted to play for Liverpool, but he's lived the movie. The only thing Trent ain't done is, with, obviously, if he had dreams about La Liga and all that stuff, that's his business, innit? But the only thing he ain't done is won the World Cup. We all wanted to come through the academy of our boyhood club, win stuff, win multiple stuff, play for the country. Bro, he's lived a movie, bro. He's lived an absolute movie. Hazard, what a player, one of the best tech-wise ever in the Prem. Definitely one of the best I've seen in my lifetime in that regards. Havertz just gave his best at Chelsea. In my opinion, if he left Chelsea sooner, I think he would have been better at Madrid. Maybe. DG playing keeper. But to be fair, 5'8", I could play and go. Could do my thing, but yeah, man. You guy mad. Defense. Big up Karma, because I see you in the chat of one of my other videos. Good afternoon, everyone. And big up my members and my mods, man. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Make sure the likes are at a sufficient level. As the lady said, make sure you're doing up that, man. No amount of planning can prep you for a bid from Real Madrid. They always get who they want. They are eyeing Saliba. They'll get him. It's 2027 buy. But if they get him, keep it moving, innit? Just make sure you're eyeing up who's going to replace Saliba. And for me, I would like to have the Liverpool thing where Van Dijk, Salah, Trent. All right, fair enough. If you're going, it's a shame. All good things have to come to an end, but we want things. Because if Saliba leaves, if Gabriel Magalhaes leaves, if Saka leaves, I'm exaggerating, but if Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly leave, there's an element of we haven't achieved everything here. It's like with Mikel Arteta. I always say this. I think there's a lot of criticism. I think there's a lot of praise. Just because I feel that it's now time to deliver doesn't mean I have to lie about you. Like, whether you're going to get over the line is a completely another thing. And I think I won't say you set the standards, but you've help remind people of Arsenal standards, and you, in your part, good or bad, you've got us back to second now, so you're dying by those standards that you've helped to reset, type of thing. Because I might have question marks over your ability to get over the line, your adaptability, what you've done when you can blame Kroenkes, but at the end of the day, you spent 105 million on Declan Rice, 45 million on Thomas Partey, 30 odd on Marino, 65 on Havertz. These are all midfielders. Ain't really got stuff, really. I can have question marks about what you're doing in the transfer market, but I don't need to act like let's have it right. Mikel Arteta is not a bad manager. He's still, and I'm not saying this to keep you at the club, but you're still learning. You're clearly a good coach. Clearly, in my opinion, going to achieve things in the game. Where I'm not with the Arteta sexual stuff is I only care if you do it at Arsenal, I don't care if Mikel Arteta goes on and wins Euros, wins La Liga, does this, does that, goes down in folklore, achieves history in football. I don't pick you up. Who doesn't want to see any human have their goals? But it only matters at Arsenal. If you left tomorrow, and I'm not saying this to keep you, it's just under the guise of unfulfilled potential, which unfortunately, since we moved to the stadium, has become something. And I just feel people want to have their cake and eat it with Arteta. You can't rate my man and then find excuses when you're not winning. Winners win, losers explain. But I'm repeating the same things, man. Big up BG. Good for Trent. Players don't have to be committed to one team for life. As a Liverpool fan, I'm happy Trent is going. Man's going to save his career. Our owners have no ambition to win stuff. Zubimendi is needed. And even that, what we've skipped over. Obviously, the club are never going to tell Trent, Van Dijk or Salah specifically what they're going to do in the market. Naturally, if you want any of these players to sign new deals, you're going to sell dreams. Yeah, bro, we're going to do this in the market. Don't watch that week. We're going to do this. You're going to be whatever. But what if, naturally, if you're Mohamed Salah, or let's stick with Trent, if you're any of them, you want to ask about the long-term future of Liverpool. Like, what are you lot trying to do? Are you going to equip the manager to thingy, like, build on this success and sustain some level of success with the Premier League? Are we going to bring some difference makers? If I'm Trent and I'll sit there, I'm like, right, you didn't give him a new deal. Klopp asked for signings. Sorry, you didn't give him a transfer market. Klopp asked for signings and didn't really get it. two of our most important players in Van Dijk and Salah are here. Cool. Even if they stay in the next 2-3 years, you might have to find replacements. What if they're telling him stuff and it's not making sense? To him, it's not making sense. Real Madrid, they're making sense. Getting paid, linking up with Jude Bellingham, probably link up with a couple of other players. Keep it moving, innit? It's as simple as that. I said in January, no way Zubimendi is coming to the Emirates. The Liverpool deal fell through because he wanted to stay living in Spain. He wanted Liverpool to fly him 3 times a week to the UK. If Real Madrid want him, he's going there. If they don't, then the Arsenal talks will collapse over personal terms like it did with Liverpool. For the poll, Bruno G is the guy we need. Big up yourself, Andy, man. But you say they're going to miss out on UCL, so the league form matters. Who? Who's missing out on? That must be one for the chat, man. Unless we're getting verts, I'm taking Xavi Simmons. This is a madness. Are we definitely not getting Zubi? I don't know. Bro's a commentator. What does that mean? Am I a commentator? What does that mean? I'd love to be a commentator, man. Black Peter Jury or something, man. Missing out on Zubi would be double PRL for Arsenal. It would. But for me, I'm past that. Make sure a centre mid arrives. Make sure it arrives. You can do all the personal terms agreed, speak for years with the guy. Things can change. People change their minds, and that's cool. All I care about is our ability to pivot. Big up Inner Circle. I'll tell you all again. Saka could be like Hazard, played in the middle, dribbling, turning, 1-2, shooting, strong, terrorize defenders. Just need to try buy an elite right winger and put Saka up behind the top 9. I hear that. I don't agree with it, but I hear it. But for me, let's get that striker first. That left wing first, pattern up all the other areas. When we've addressed what we need to address, then maybe we can start thinking about moving people, because we need to put milk and bread in our fridge first, and then we can talk about buying a flat screen TV, man. No one can say no to Madrid. A lot of talk about Saliba 2027, but are you not worried about Saka? Isn't it the same expiry date? I'm worried and not worried, because at the end of the day, I can't control it. I've mentioned about seeing better players leave this football club. I understand it, because I've never been one of those fans. I understand it. If, when we started in these title shouts, Arteta was learning. The people above Arteta was learning. Obviously, Saliba, Saka, all of these guys had potential, but they have to realize it. So it made sense. We're trying to do that. Now we've established ourselves, quote unquote, and it's become a case of, are we able to get over the line or not? Are we being stopped in that? If Saka and all of these guys, they've looked at it and said, you know what, it's not nice coming second. It makes more sense to go over there. What can I say? What I don't want is letting man leave for free. It's a reality. I was someone that always listened to Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger said this was going to be a thing. He did say, man, I'm going to run down deals. It's going to be so frequent. And you're seeing that. Big up yourself, SB. Big up DG, the philosopher. We announced Zubi as our signing right after a bad result, only for Madrid to snatch him so bad that he can't get upset. What would you call your team if you had one in the Ballers League? 4th Street FC, DG's Rovers. I don't know, man. I need one of you lot with a fancy play on words. I thought Zubimendi was done. Where did we think that? Why would we think that? Why would we believe this? Man, I'm not holding shirts. We ain't seen Ornstein or whatever say deal agreed, finalized to join next year. Why? For all of these journalists talking about all these things, why? Yes, Emery wanted Wilf, but there was a corrupt Brown. Exactly. And I also feel it just... Clearly, Crystal Palace wanted more money up front as well. Should have got Zaha, sorry. But Lassie and Zaha was a cold wing partnership. Wilf has done a lot for the community. Obviously, everyone knows what his brother is on, but he's a South legend. You get it, South London's finest. All right, look, see, any talk of South London, he pops up. I see him in all the other streams. He's never here, mate. He might have to lose the mod status. I can't lie, but I'm going to have to move like Berta in the summer. Don't forget he played for United. Also, he's heavily linked with Arsenal, but he chose Pep over him. Peak Zaha is better than Liao. Don't care on his day. It was quality. That on his day thing. After 5.5 years, there's no excuse of having a squad of 19 outfield players when that includes Sterling, Neto, and 2 18-year-olds, however talented they are. Said it there, man. DG is basically the Mane of this footy YouTube community. I wish, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Gary Neville settings, man. You're top tier to me, DG. Appreciate that. I catch. I'm top tier to Karma. You see that? Hey, you're getting blocked. I'm top tier. 1 second, Karma. Don't you worry, darling. Big up the mods. I need to get the screenshot to all that. That's going down in Hall of Fame. It's all good. Big up Aaron Talks Football. Make sure you're supporting his channel. He's an Arsenal fan. At 4 p.m, I'm going to have him, DJ B, and Kenny Ken. Let me make sure I actually, oh my God, life's been quite hectic actually. I need to message Kenny Ken. I mean, DJ B, is he there? Oh, I did. Fair enough. I got shook. I thought I effed it. Oh gosh, all over the place, man. All over the place. Spent all day on LinkedIn actually. Like you got to do all that kind of stuff. But yeah, top tier. Yeah, Rice doesn't have the killer pass. We need another creator. Square pegs in round holes. Like for me, and I'm talking. I don't care about other fans' thoughts because I just think we've Declan Rice too much agendas. At the end of the day, we spent 105 million on him. They're on to a minute. When have we ever looked at Declan Rice for England, West Ham, and thought, yo, he's going to be Paul Scholes. He's going to be Frank Lampard. Yeah, I know he's got better in goals and assists and all of that and all of that stuff. But no matter how much he works, he's never going to be Santi Cazorla. Like, he is a ball-winning midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder. All the other stuff he does is an extra. If you were to bring up strengths of Rice, it's not consistently breaking lines and all of that. Now, Arteta knows more about football than me, but I'd love to ask him why he plays as an 8. I know he can't, like, Declan Rice isn't a man, like, 10 times out of 10, he's going to receive it off the centre-backs under pressure, half turn, keep it moving. Out of 10 times, he's probably going to do that twice. And, like the guys that can break lines, things that can be done in 2 touches, they're doing it in 2 touches or 1 pass or 2 passes. They're doing it in 2 passes / touches or less. Rice might need 3 or 4. He might see it, hesitate. Them other man exaggerating, but Modric and Santi and these kind of ones, Cess, they're going to do it. I understand Rice winning the ball high up the field, but I need my manager to, defense. I think there is some questions. Probably need another left back and some goalies. But I'm kind of cool with our defense. Obviously, the backdrop of Saliba and Gabriel, but purely just football, I'm cool with that. It's when we get into the midfield and final third, I'm like, I need a bit more gaffer. Because you could argue there's a title-winning defense there. Is there a title-winning midfield? You've got 105 million man that you're playing, I can't really say out of position, but you're playing out of position. Are we setting Odegaard up for all the criticisms that Odegaard has to hold? Are we setting him up for success? Your best midfielder in terms of all-roundedness, Partey's deal's running out and time's caught up to him. I don't need to explain to you Arsenal's attacking third. Our 2 best attackers are 2 academy products in Nwaneri and Saka. After that, it probably is Kai Havertz. Do I think Kai Havertz has the best ability out of all the other options? No. Do I think we should have bought Kai? No. Are we all aware that we failed up? Well, Arteta failed upwards in that this guy was meant to be in midfield. Jesus got injured. He's meant to fill in for a couple of games. We took it. We ran with it. But at the end of the day, Kai Havertz is more consistent than a lot of his teammates. He scores a lot more than a lot of his teammates. I think he's more vital to our team than a lot of his teammates. Now, that's probably the issue through no fault of Kai Havertz, because we shouldn't have bought you, respectfully to you. If I'm saying that about Kai, then it speaks volumes of what we're doing as a football club. That is not a strike. I'm not saying he can't chip in the squad where we're at, but that is not the man that should be leading your line. But we're having the same conversations. How much times are we going to have the same conversations, expect different things? It's not making sense. Again, Rice is only elite when he's not in possession. He cannot be a lone 6 for Arsenal's passing range is average, mostly sideways and back, hugely overpaid. Maybe, I don't know who, but maybe we could have went abroad and got someone for less. But I'm cool with Rice, man. At the end of the day, it's not my peas. My personal thing is if we were to break our transfer record and we were to buy those kind of players, I personally think you should spend it on strikers and wingers. They get bums on seats, they win games, but we're at. But for Arteta, we need a bit more bang for the buck. Can all cry about we can cry until the cows come home about the Cronkies and we know we're at with them and all of that stuff. They rightly, and I don't feel anyone's fully to blame. The Cronkies, rightly so, could sit here and say, no, DG, I hear what you're saying about us. But we did break our transfer record. Arteta wanted Rice. We bought him. He wanted Kai Havertz. We got that. Goalkeeper galore. Got that. Wanted Marino. We got that. It's now time to... A lot of these things, you need to judge it more harsher now. So let's hope we have a good summer in it. But as I've said before, I'm at that point now. For me, It's show and prove, man. If you're serious, show me. Bring me the striker, bring me the winger, bring me the centre mid. Stop crying about us. Like in the circle said, that 19-man squad that he keeps saying. Whether it's down to Arteta or the board, stop talking about these things. Like if nothing changes, nothing changes. We keep doing the same things. The one thing I ask of this football club is to maximize everything we can maximize. Then at least I can say, fair enough. If you had the depth that I don't know what the mythical number would be, but if we had the depth and we had the market that we had in the summer and all of these injuries happen, I might still have some of the same talking points, but at least I can say, fair enough, you actively tried. The injury thing with us merely just, and of course it's played a part, but it merely just highlights the incompetence in terms of having a squad. Because even when everybody's fit, if you break it down, you know Zini's getting injured. Fair enough, Partey hasn't, but you know Partey's a flight risk in that regards. You know Tierney's picking up knocks. You know Zini's picking up knocks. There's very few players, and everybody can get injured, but there are very few players that are durable. And unfortunately, we knew Saka was going to, at some point, break down. White was going to break down. And there's Havertz was going to break down. Isaac alone is probs not enough to win the league next season. DG, what's up with Zubimendi? We can't trust anything until he signs. We'll get there in a sec, man. Bro, the best teams don't always win the champs. They don't. But then I do hear that talk around the Premier League and the champs and actually all cups, and that's true because even in a 90-minute football game, the best team doesn't always win. And I believe that. We all believe that. You lot are fans of the game first. Subscribe if you're new here. We understand football here. But then going against our own logic, surely we're wrong. Football subject, surely we're wrong because how can they not be the best team if they've won the Prem or they've won the champs? It's like when they were saying we're the best team in 2024, Arsenal the best team. City ran away with it, bro. It don't matter if Arsenal were top for 200 odd days and they were top for 2 weeks and they won. Where do we go with this? But it is true. But then flipping it, is it really the case? We're more than 5 years into Arteta era and we need to rebuild. But the first rebuild produced nothing. That's a bit dishonest. That to me is a failure. I wouldn't say it's a failure. It's got us to this point. Where I believe we're failing is these 2 years now. This is now where the failure is happening. Drop the ball twice. Mainly this season is the biggest failure for me in this 3-year period. But we have a shallow, weak, injury-prone, imbalanced squad with no striker. In the circle, don't mix his words, and I can't really deny him, man. Challenging every couple of years is not good enough. We should be fighting for everything every year. Big club standards. To be fair, though, Liverpool do that. It's Arsenal FC, not Arteta FC. People pick their battle camps, man. Even if Arsenal won the champs this year. So yeah, you're right, bro. Like, if I know what I would... listen, you lot, I'm very balanced. But in my group chat, I do a lot of nonsense. If I was not an Arsenal fan and Arsenal won the Champions League, I know what I'm going to say. Talk you lot long enough. I discredit this because this is the new Champions League format. It's not the old one. I know what I'm saying. And I know what I'll be saying to counteract this. But Arsenal need to win it first. If we win it, boy... But there's if the rebuild needs a rebuild, yeah. But this is what happens when you get complacent and you rest on your laurels. Whether I'm past the point of what you did or didn't do, Arteta, what Edu did or didn't do, the players, the Cronkies. As far as I'm concerned, you're all in it now. We all know the reasons that we keep talking about. You lot change it, in it. All of you are in this together. In the same way, if we were winning the Champions League, if we had the points tally Liverpool had, I'd give you all your credit. The rebuild is that getting Arsenal to this point is done now. It's the only theme is getting over the line. And there's two, whether it's right or wrong, 3 years in a row, 3 different reasons or a million different reasons. It's coulda, woulda, shoulda, what if, what could have, if this happened, if that happened. Either way, we can debate that, but it's explaining. It's explaining. We didn't win. City, 2 Premier Leagues. Liverpool, a Premier League. Newcastle, they deserve what they did. But I'm very upset about that because on one hand, Newcastle winning the trophy, big them up. But I think in those 2 legs, we didn't put our best foot forward. We didn't make it difficult for them. They did all the things they needed to do. We did not. So I'm vexed about that. FA Cup, I'm vexed about that. The FA Cup, we should always be winning that. It's too much explaining. There's no history being made. I know there's the statistics and we scored bare goals last year for the first time since the Invincible year and all them things are great. That tells me we got a base. That tells me we got something to build on. That tells me we're not as crap as even myself we like to make out. But it also tells me we're complacent. We're resting on our laurels. We're not, people like to sit here and talk about the past a lot. Oh, but we're not back to back. If that is cool. People like to get anxious about the future. Oh, if you keep Arteta, how long until you change something? If you sack him, this has to happen again. These are all valid points. and it is about future proofing. But I just feel like this football club, we never seize the present moment. We've been speaking about Liverpool earlier, right? Trent could be gone, Salah could be gone, this one could be gone, or Slot could struggle next season. Bare things for this example could happen. But at the end of the day, 2024, 25, won it. Newcastle could fall off which I don't think it's going to happen with Liverpool or Newcastle. Newcastle could fall off a cliff and not be with Champions League football next season, or not be in the Champions League if they're still on the hangover. But at the end of the day, 2024, 25, League Cup winners, 70-year trophy drought. The players they are in folklore is what it is. Whoever wins the FA Cup wins the FA Cup, or I would have mentioned that. Declan Rice is a top player, but I still think Arteta misprofiled him. I agree. But I'm accepting things now. Like, I don't think the A experiment is going to stop. Arteta is not playing Deckers to his best strengths. How is it that we see it and he doesn't? Because he don't agree. The summer completely boned our season. Facts. I rate Rice highly, but someone needs to ask this gaffer, why did you spend 100 M's if you don't know how to use him? There's a few players I think the manager is not maximizing their full potential, and he's got to pattern that up. Declan Rice would go down as a legend here if he played centre-back. If Big Gabby gets moved on, I wouldn't buy another centre-back. I'd put Declan Rice back there and invest heavily in a 6. Nah, let's buy another. I hear that, but let's buy another 6. It's funny because I actually think Tuchel profiled him perfectly, played him as a 6 and on the ball in a pivot with MLS. Junior, pardon me, told him again. Nah, Alex Song was overrated. He's got some serious assists for this football club. I always felt, to be fair, we could do with Alex Song in our midfield right now, really, but boy. DG, how does my 18-year-old baller have more composure after scoring than Rice? I don't know, man. Crazy money. Don't understand why clubs drop that type of money on players. Nothing against Rice. Good player. But you can find players just as good for a fraction of the price. I'm just happy that we spent peas. I'm starting to look at it differently, you know. In that, I agree with what you say and all of that kind of stuff about that, yeah. And that lack of, on his day, lack of consistency thing is true. I agree with all of that. But now I'm at the point now. I don't care no more, you know. It's not my piece. I know it has knock-on effects, but I don't care anymore, really. I just would like us to spend peas, man. I'm not disagreeing with that, brother. If this is a bad season from Simmons, no way you're from 4C DG. I heard a madness happens at 4 Street MacD's. Boy, guys got to realize that the Zubi deal was never completed, but they also got to know that he definitely ain't just off to Madrid now. Nothing has really changed. Just some people think Madrid will move to it. I hear it. Wharton's good. But again, once they end up at Palace or like in Newcastle's case, you know, anyone that does their due diligence gets these players in, and now the masses have caught up. It's big money, and it's either you put the big money down or you keep it cutting. Do you think Zubimendi is better than Partey? Big up yourself for the super chat. Noted. No, I don't. I think Partey is more all-rounded. I mean, to be fair, at this moment in time, he probably is. It's not a prime Partey, but I just think Partey is more all-rounded than him. I do like Zubimendi. I do think Arsenal fans are doing this weird thing where we get linked with him. He becomes the one that on paper is the one we're going to get. And he's the best thing since sliced bread. He can walk on water. He can get 4 fishes and feed 1 million people and part the Red Sea and all of them kind of things there. I worry for the physicality. Not necessarily with Zubimendi, more our squad. I like Zubimendi. I think you read the game well. I think you're very intelligent. I think with the system, it could help. I'm not sure the Rice and the Zubimendi 6 thing, it really fills me with confidence. Just a good player, bring him in. And I think he'll be good. I don't know if you move mountains, and I think you're a very good player. I'll be excited if we do sign you, but you're not one of them players that before you've kicked the ball at my club, I'm like, wow, like we've gone up their levels. Wharton is more than perfect, man. Once when he gets over his injuries, you know what? He could have I say outside choice because there's biases going on. He could have an outside chance, better yet, of an English squad, but he needs to stay fit. Bloody good footballer, man. DG, who's your first choice left wing signing? For me, it was Cara. I'm with you. But he's joined PSG now. It'd probably be that Francesco Trincão from Juventus. At this point, just get me Nico Williams, man. Like I like him a lot. Or bring me Karim Adeyemi. Brilliant interview with T. Williams. I learned more about the reality of youth football. His insight to this topic is amazing. Thank you for the top content, DJ. Appreciate that. You know what? I think I've been sleeping on that sort of content, man. So I thought, you know what? Let me see what I'm gonna see. If you lot want the content, and if I'm able to do it with agents, agents and youth people and all them kind of people that are working at football at various different degrees, man. Why not? Why not? DG, if we miss out on Zubimendi to Madrid, I'm not here for it. If we can't get our number 1 target, then no one, Berta or I need to make sure we have a plan A, B, C. That's it. And that's all I care about. You need that. It's a compliment. SB, appreciate you. Would love to be a commentator. You know what I'm saying? I got the golden voice. I need to hear it from the galley though, man. I need to hear it from the galley though. I need to hear it from the galley. But one love, my guy. Please hit the likes. Let's get to 100. I love Arsenal, hate the ops. I have to big you up because I see you in my comments all the time, man. Get the youth man in. Ask them what they thought of MLS and Wanyeri. I covered that in this video. Well, the video out. Trust me, we'll do that. Appreciate you for becoming a member, my guy. I'd rather Varela than Zubimendi. Partey is cooked, but I legit think 2025 Partey is still better. Zubi a better footballer than Partey, if you ask me. Hey, you're moving mad, boy. My point on Rice, you could have got Isaac. We could have, man. And that's where I don't understand. Like, it's like Arsenal were half trying to do things. Like, I like the Timber approach. Like, Timber was, he weren't unknown, but it was a smart little addition. It was one that everyone could have got. And when you look at Manchester City, Liverpool as well, when you look at Manchester City, at the point of when they grabbed these players, yeah, they've all obviously gone on and done great things. And there's a couple of exceptions to the rules. But Diaz was there, quote unquote. Bare teams could have got Diaz. Everyone could have got Gundogan. Everyone could have got Kevin De Bruyne. And there's a long list of all of them. But you get them, you assemble them correct, you got a great squad. Everyone could have got Salah at the point of him going to Liverpool. Mane was there for everyone. Robertson was there for everyone. Obviously, Van Dijk, quote unquote, beyond the point was. But then, you know, probably when he was at Celtic, obviously Southampton, the money starts to come into it. I don't know what our strategy is because it's like we half buy, not obviously Declan Rice has worked out in my opinion. We half go for Premier League established players of different levels. Then it's like we half try and do the Timber thing, like smart little additions. Then it's like we half try do the scouting thing, which doesn't work out. I really do struggle to understand what we're doing as a football club in terms of the profile. It's not for me to know. Obviously, I'm an armchair expert, but there used to be a point, maybe not necessarily, but there used to be a point at Arsenal where you could kind of tell like the sort of player we was quote unquote looking to go for, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm changing it. DG, would you ever do a top 6 panel show? The panel thing's not really me, man. Why not? Maybe once in a while. I'd need 6 fans, including myself. Like, and then I just know it comes with extra baggage, bro, because you know, you gotta respect everyone's got their own life, everyone's got things to do. Other people got different interests. It just gets a bit long. Like if we say, I don't know, Tuesday, 4 p.m., this one could do it, that one can't. It gets a bit long. Maybe we could look to bring in maybe a little fortnightly show or something, but that's not really mine, man. I do like me. I'm more like to have one-to-one conversations. Bring, you know, couple. Well, it technically is a panel. Bring a couple fans, have a bit of a laugh and whatever. And then I like to be here with you, like just reacting to you. Like that's just me. And you know, I think a lot of people forget that the only reason I started YouTube was actually to talk about youth football and content in that regards. And I do hate, the one thing I hate about youth content, YouTube is it's almost like you have to be put in one box. Like, I don't just like talking about Arsenal. I like talking about football at its purest level. I like talking about tactics. I like talking about the youth content. You know me, any sort of discrimination to any person, we're talking about that. I like to have a bit of, this is why I like to have the man on the show and the geezers. I like to have a bit of a joke. I don't like to, I feel, and I do think it's mainly, especially when you look over in the States and you see like what their content creators are doing, it feels like they're not in a box. It feels like you kind of have to be put in a box here. So I wouldn't be against it, but I don't really think it's my thing, man. If I'm honest. The hijacked. We're never going to get him. This was a smokescreen after a failing transfer. We act like a conference club when we're happy with leftovers. City went and got players, shambles overboard. The panel shows a chaos entertainment value. It is, but then I guess, to be honest, in the last, I would say 2 years, like I've started looking at it from the other end of stuff. Like you gotta have people for different stuff. Like there's some creators that I feel are quite well balanced. There's some that are more vocal than others. There's some that, you know, you gotta like I do a lot of content with different people, and you gotta know who you're bringing on. Like there might be more, you know, like the more softer, gentle souls of this world. I might more want to have them just with me. They feel a bit more comfortable, you know. Not, and then obviously, like, you know what, like Catch Indeed, they can hold their own. They can talk. Other people are a bit more gentle. Some people might not speak, like they might not have the confidence to speak and whatnot. So it's techie, man. And I like that. I do like to see the agendas, the chaos. But for me, I always say, regardless of all of these things, I do want to have an overbearing kind of, we're talking sense, we're having a proper conversation. I just feel with panel shows, it gets into us. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's different things for different people. But I feel for me, it would be very boring. Like we're just slewing each other. Like Arsenal we're rubbish, Arsenal are good, Liverpool's good, Liverpool are rubbish, Man United this. Like it's cool for 10 minutes. It's a little laugh and a joke, but it's tired, man. Like take me and Rance for example. Like if United lose, I'm on to him. If Arsenal win, if Arsenal lose, he's on to me. We do run the little bants, has this little period, and then we're on to other stuff. Like for me, the banter thing, maybe because I got a short attention span, I prefer to watch it and listen to it and chaotic, like especially when it's authentic as well. So we're learning. Shout out Gal, man. Copying Busquets. I wish. Me, I'd rather play Skelly in the 8. I hear it, but for me, I think that's the 6, man. That's the Musa Dembele, man. This Pep system football, type football destroyed the beautiful game. Bring me Wenger ball back. I hear you. You're not wrong, yeah. But then again, has Pep really ruined the game? If everybody's copied it, remember, Pep can only coach one team at a time, Can only coach one team at a time. So if all the other teams are copying his thing, is it him or is it everyone breading? Everyone talking about midfield. DG, would you try a midfield of Rice, MLS, Odegaard next season? I'd love to see Lewis Skelly exposed to midfield, man. Man said DG will struggle to find City and Spurs fans for a panel. To be fair, I wouldn't. Not with Spurs. City, I would. There's some good City fans, but the half of them, you got Big Steve, you got LB, them man are lit in it. They're good at what they're talking about. And I think them two are good at, like, you see, when I say fans of football first, clubs and all that second, of course, everyone's got agendas, everyone's got different biases, but they understand football and then they support their teams. But beyond that, you're kind of scratching your head, man. Like, there's not really that many. I just don't really think it's my thing, man. I'll always endeavor to try things. I'm a fan of putting myself in different environments. Come on, man. You see me with Ornstein and that. Like, yeah, man. Being a centre mid playing on the half turn should be the standard. Has the game fell off that much? It's true, but come on, man. Rice ain't doing that consistently. Bit disappointing, but if we got Barrios, Camavinga, or Steeler, would be happy. Steeler is the guy. You've seen me do a video on him. I just think them kind of players there. I know Bayern Munich are linked with what's the one they're linked with? Verts and all of them kind of guys. But I think he's the next on the list, man. Them kind of ones, it seems like they end up there. Most of these panel shows populated by kids younger than my own. Big up yourself in the circle, and you're right. I think that's one thing that goes against me on YouTube. Funny enough, like my average. And this is what I mean. Like, you kind of have to understand your own content and yourself. I can actually find it, man. Like, I was looking at it the other day. I think it's weird, but I think my platform, the older you are, the more you actually watch me. I don't really get watched by young kids, and that sounds mad. Obviously, not on a mad thing. Where is it? Analytics. Audience. Where is it? Yeah, where you look at mine, yeah, people. 70. So, well, actually, obviously, we talk about football. Football's for everyone, but it's like it's gonna be male dominated. It's like why, but it's calm. 96.9% are males, 3.2% are women. Big up them though. I care more about you lot than the lads. I definitely care more about you lot. Let it be known. Let it be known. Anyways, on a serious note, the age is 13 to 17 years of age. On my channel, that stands at 0.2%. 18 to 24, that is 10.6%. That's a good little age range. But then it starts like getting up, because 25 to 34, which is my age range, and I like that one, if I'm honest. 25 years of age to 34 is 35.4%. 35 years of age to 44 years of age is 27.9%. 45 to 54 years of age is 14.5%. 55 to 64 years of age is 8.3%. And big up my pensioners, my freedom passes, 3.3% of people over the 65 plus, 3.3%. So there's actually more pensioners than people that watch me. Maybe I am mature way beyond my years. Big up you lot though, man. But in this day and age I think YouTube's in that I think it's resetting a bit, but it's in that weird thing of just, obviously I like the shouting and all of that stuff, but I feel there's some people that do it authentically, and there's some people that are just going to say mad stuff for the sake of it. We are in that across all aspects, where it's just about who can say mad stuff. And I get it, it gets tractions and stuff, but even if you get millions and thousands of views and the platform, at some point, okay, you like chat shit, but what now, bro? And my thing, I used to say it in my early days of my YouTube videos, like, I don't want to rant and rave for you lot to hear what I say. And added to that, like, I've always said, if I'm like, I just want my thing to be authentic. If you ever see me, you're never going to see me cry on the internet. But if you ever saw me cry, if you ever saw me animated, if you ever saw me a bit cool, calm, collected, that's how I felt at the time. Big up Inner Circle, my cab guy. And the rattling thing is dead. Like, I'd rather just rattle my brethren. Like, I'd rather that. But I understand it. For you lot, it's more entertaining. It does give you, I do need to, I think you lot see it in a bit of ways, but could show you that more side, but you get the point, man. Love for the super chat. Fan base needs balance. If you don't believe Arsenal are doing place with Zubimendi, why so eager to believe Real Madrid hijacked the deal? Relax, people. You know people not going to relax. Big up the 25 to 34 range, man. DG for the senior citizens. 100%, man. 100%, broski. 100%. It's weird. I don't know why. I didn't pick that. I wouldn't trade you lot for the world, but then being devil's advocate, would it be good? Because I do think the mainstream media and YouTube is kind of colliding. I think I might be one of them, you know, the bigger platform. You get me? Grab me, bro. Like, yeah, we could do this. But the little kids are the ones that get the thing going, in it. So would it be better to have that age range or that percentage of that age range better for the kids? I don't know. It all depends, innit? I wouldn't trade you lot for the world, man. Big up the 25 to 34, man. And it's weird because I'm in the same group. So we've all grown up together. And do you know what? Yeah. Who commented it? For the life I can't remember, but I went on my comments page today, and like somebody every now and again, it's weird because someone will comment. It's not weird, but someone will comment on a YouTube video from 4, 5, 6 years ago. There's like 10,000 videos literally on my channel. I'm not gonna remember, and then you see it, and it's weird. It just made me feel like kind of grown up with well, I've grown up as a person with a lot of you. Like you have seen me grow up. Really, still ain't got it. Well. A little bit of bum fluff. God, you done me dirty, man. 30 next month for all my days. No sideburns. It's calm, though. It's calm. Babyface killer. Appreciate you lot. This is probably one of 5 channels I watch, mostly for the fact that you have good knowledge on the game. Not many do these days. Only negative is you talk about Isaac too much. The game's the game. I hear it, man. I hear it. But when we sign him, let me dream, man. Because when I tried to dream for silverware, it didn't bang. You're just angry at me because you know you didn't make it as a footballer. Now I'm playing, man. I'm playing. You got further than me. Big up yourself, man. But that's what it's about. We have a laugh and a joke. I mean, actually, for me, that's what it's about. At the end of the day, we can laugh, we could joke, we can slag each other off. But at some point, we need to just talk football. I don't really care about being right and wrong and all of this, but some thoughtfulness behind why you're saying what you're saying. I don't really like the emotional. For me, I don't want to go do the emotional thing. You're not hyperbolic enough for the kids, DG. Keep it moving. They'll be watching when they're older. Hope so, man. Yeah, because kids aren't trying to have conversations. I hear it. YouTube's for the oldies and TikToks for the youngins. It wasn't hijacked. We were never in for him. It was an appeasement by the club to stop the kicking and screaming after fumbling these in a row. Gunner has always warned everyone. I assume you're talking about Lee. Shout out, Lee. Bro, I've seen the best days from 1989. I almost said 18. You'd have been too old. From 1989 onwards was my first memory of Arsenal through pictures with my pops. Big up yourself, man. Big up pops as well. This is why for guys like this, we need to get back to the glory days. You could be right, but Saliba's got all the attributes of a perfect centre-back. He's just been off the ball for a minute, like most of our 11. I hear that, man. Also, the accounts reporting the Zubimendi hijack stinks. They're not serious. Let's get into that as well, man. People, we got 94 likes, man. I appreciate you lot support. I see a lot of you lot here consistently, but one thing you lot need to get in the habit is leaving a comment when the live stream's done, smashing the like button and subscribing. This pushes the YouTube algorithm. It's free. Big up the gaffer anyways, man. Happy birthday, Mikel Arteta. Have a great 43rd birthday, whatever you think of the man. More life and all of that. Arsenal look at Real Madrid's Bernabeu revamp as part of the Emirates Stadium expansion plans. Arsenal have looked at the way Real Madrid redeveloped the Bernabeu as they explore the possibility of expanding the Emirates Stadium. The Gunners have been at the Emirates since 2006 and want to make upgrades to their North London home. Renovations have taken place in recent years, including the installation of new artwork on the stadium's exterior. And Josh Kroenke revealed during an interview with ESPN last summer that internal conversations were taking place about further work being done. When they pattern it up, take all them Beyonce concerts and all of them kind of things, man. Standard Sport understands that such talks are at an explanatory stage, with Arsenal assessing what is feasible when it comes to expanding or upgrading the Emirates. That's natural. Arsenal have taken note of what other clubs have done, including Real Madrid's redevelopment of the Bernabeu. Can we take how Real Madrid source the best players and actually buy them at the right time and stuff like that, and what they're doing from a sporting success. Can we establish a link up with Real Madrid? You drop us a couple players this summer, we'll give you a little discount when the time comes with Saliba. The game's the game, but that doesn't surprise me, innit? That doesn't surprise me. Naturally, Arsenal are going to want to do that. It makes sense. Whether it's more seats, there's more seats, more bums on seats, more money. This is what clubs are going to do. All this talk of Margard, Declan Rice, right? But at the end of the day, people, since the beginning of 2025, no player has created more big chances in the Premier League than Decky Boy. So, of course, stats are not everything. And you don't know me, if this was anyone else, I'd be saying that. But we've got agendas to push, man. I'm not perfect. Apparently, keeping up the theme with the Emirates. The Emirates Stadium has seen, and this is what the XG merchants, yeah, they're silent about this one. The Emirates Stadium has seen the third least XG created in its season, only behind Goodison Park and the City Ground. Nottingham Forest are doing great stuff, but as we know, they're more than happy to sit back, let you have the ball. Sean Dyche and them man there when he was there, and David Moyes, big up them. They're not known for ball. What's going on with us? So we're not creating. This is why I'm saying, yes, I know certain people hate it, but this is what I mean by if you get Isaac and Zubimendi and Nico Williams, and yeah, I'm happy and it does help, but there's a lot we need to do from a coaching front that needs to pattern up, man. Good conversations in the chat. This is proper. This is what's happening. And you know what? The next step is probably making a WhatsApp group or a Discord group or something. You know, we really need to build up the community from one midfielder to another. Martin Odegaard provided a hat-trick of assists as Norway eased to a World Cup qualifying win over Israel, with the Arsenal star hailed as one of the world's best footballers. Keep that form. Bring that form back to the Emirates with you, man. Come on, come on, come on. And then, yeah, you don't want to bring Haaland with you? Let MLS beat him up first, but he's calm. Arsenal are planning to offer Gabriel Magalhaes a new contract to deter interest from Saudi Pro League sides. Sources have told Football Insider, with talks over a new deal being lined up ahead of the summer transfer window, which should be on brand. I've heard that before slightly. I know certain people hate me speaking about Isaac, but I can only do the job that I'm trying to do here. Newcastle have paused contract talks with Alexander Isak after he did not accept their initial proposals, with the club now set to reassess and plan their next move. Both Arsenal and Liverpool increasingly view Isak as their top priority up front this summer. Now, admittedly, I've given a bunch of reasons beyond the obvious as to why I think this won't happen. I just think they've paused it until the end of the season and they'll start. Bearing in mind, he's got 3 years left on his deal. But does this give you any confidence that we could get Isaac? I don't know. People, let me know your thoughts. I'm excited to bring up the Odegaard figure. How many tabs am I going to have with that? Okay, it doesn't appear that there's anything new there. What else have we got? And Mbeumo will transform Arsenal's attack. Do you lot agree with that statement? I mean, he's got 15 goals and 5 assists. He's got a year left on his deal come the summer, plus an option of another year. He's French. Presses well, transitional monster, could play across the front three. I'm on it. I'm on it. Big Gabby ain't leaving. Saliba said he can't go until they win something at Arsenal first. I hear that, and I don't think they're wrong, but you're older than me, love Arsenal, hate the ops, man. You know things can change. Words only go on so far, and 2-3 years, if we're saying the same thing about the club, Saliba might have to say, you know what, my dream was to accomplish stuff, but boy, it is what it is. And I'm not trying to be like a bearer of bad news or anything, but it does kind of give me a bit of not PTSD, but it takes me back to, especially not the club he went to, but the language around when Van Persie left, the language around when Thierry Henry left, the language around that kind of early Emirates austerity measures type of thing. And Mbeumo would be amazing, man. Bring him. Arsenal want to be maintaining their strength and improving on it. And Mbeumo, if he was an Arsenal player now, he'd be an asset to them because he can do what he can do. He scores goals and he runs the flanks for them. He's not Stanley Matthews, pick him up type who beats people. He's not the type of winger. He's more forceful and penetrative, pause, and might be the way that Arsenal have to go. So that one wouldn't surprise me. You lot having him? You lot having him? Semenyo is better. Don't let, big up fams on TV. Don't let him see that. Semenyo better than Mbeumo. At what? Skills in that. I just like Mbeumo because he's not Salah and Mane, but the way he moves, you know, when guys are just savage, like relentless, like obviously Martinelli's got that in him, but I'm not putting him in these conversations. I like to see relentlessness, like they're hungry. Then players that are going to terrorize, not necessarily because of skill, they're just hungry, like they're onto you for the whole 90 minutes. I like that with Mbeumo. And Mbeumo is M product, and Mbeumo is a good headline for that. So yeah, man, Gabriel Magalhaes, apparently we're trying to get him to sign new deals. We're trying to reject the Saudi stuff and all of that. Keeping up the theme with Real Madrid. Real Madrid have put Calafiori back on their radar ahead of the summer transfer window. Whether we don't have to. Of all the speculation about Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and all the talk about what Luis Skelly's done, I don't think for at least this season we have to worry about Calafiori going to Real Madrid. I do hope you develop to the standard that you get linked with Real Madrid, because you must be doing half decent there. But yeah, what's this? 3 key issues Real Madrid must address before Champions League showdown. Who plays instead of Zubimendi, who's suspended for the first leg. Valverde is the only Real Madrid player to have more interceptions. Okay, that's one. How does Ancelotti manage player minutes? It's the Champions League they're going to play, bro. Will Real Madrid stars continue to defend from the front? Well, it could get long. We know they can play several different ways. What's Keon said here, people? Arsenal summer transfer is already done, as Isaac sends clear message. Definitely. I bet it's a case of 2 + 2 equaling 5. But let's see, man. Arsenal, well, let's skip. Martin Keon suggests transfer is done. What has he said specifically? Obviously, you know, Sesko is more of a player that's easier to attain than Isaac. He's an up-and-comer. I would suggest that there's already been a player bought and that it's already done from an Arsenal point of view. They won't be making this mistake again. I mean, the only reason I kind of believe is because you seem to be getting a bit more into the club, if I'm honest with you. Big up Wanyeri. What is this with Wanyeri? We know he's doing his thing for England's under-21s as well as the club. Naturally, Nigeria hope to poach him. I'm sorry, Nigeria. I don't think he's going to play for Nigeria. It's a Saka thing. Now, where Saka's concerned, people, there are rumours he could actually be back next week against Fulham. I know. Would you risk him? He would have been signed off by the medical team. Do you think he's not worth the risk? Please let me know all your thoughts in that. We know he hasn't played for nearly 3 months. He tore his hamstring. I'm sure he's desperate to be back for Real Madrid. Calafiori got injured during this international break. It's unknown, and we have to wait at least until Monday with Mikel Arteta's press conference for him to provide some sort of update. Although Arteta is quite quiet in that. We know he's left the Italian camp and he's done what he's doing. Can't hate the ambition, bro. Bare diaspora countries could learn from Nigeria, bro. I just think the Wanyeri one's a myth. Timber's expected to be there for Fulham. We all know he's had illness while he's been over on international break. We're not seeing Kai Havertz until next season. At some point, maybe for 6 minutes, we'll see Tomiyasu next season, but I wouldn't hold my breath. The same goes for Gabriel Jesus, people. Martin Keon, we went over his comments already. So, yeah, I must admit, Keon, they clickbaited you, you know. I thought there was going to be a bit more. From one Spanish player potentially being hijacked, before we get on to the other one, Atletico Madrid allegedly are reportedly eager to hijack Arsenal's move for Espanyol goalkeeper Juan Garcia this summer. The 23-year-old has been heavily linked with Mikel Arteta's side in recent months after coming close to joining the club in 2024, and he is viewed as the Gunners' first choice goalkeeper target as they look to sign someone capable of Raya. Yeah, man. Yeah, he did speak about him. Oh, well, James McCatery, who season missed really at City, ain't really been exposed. Arsenal have been considered to be Garcia's most likely destination for a while, although Barcelona are also interested in completing a deal, while Atletico Madrid have now joined the race for his signature too. According to Estadio Deportivo, who claimed that Diego Simeone's side may hold a key edge in the race for Garcia, they are willing to loan him back to Espanyol for the 2025-26 season. Of course, they've got Oblak. Everybody, he might, again, I don't know, but clearly everyone sees him as a potential star of tomorrow. He's been linked with Arsenal, Atletico, Manchester City, and somebody else. I'm not sure. And how long would he want to be the second choice? We should be going for Trafford. English, homegrown, but again, he's going to cost a pretty penny, and you're going to be behind Raya. So does it make sense? But yeah, apparently we face a battle for him. Liverpool apparently are pressing for Isaac. Man United are looking for Gyökeres. We're still linked with Nico Williams. Apparently, Martin Zubimendi is being heavily pursued by Real Madrid, despite the Gunners aiming to finalize an agreement. Everybody wants talented players in it, really. Real Madrid are now pushing for Martin Zubimendi, as you can see there. They are willing to pay Sociedad the 60 million euros for the midfielder. Apparently, Xabi Alonso is going to be their new manager, so that might add fuel to the fire. Smash the like button if you have not done such already. Please, 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 folks. Real Madrid are now moving seriously for Zubimendi. The club is ready to pay 60 million for him. It's now up to the players. Again, they're seriously moving for him, and he's edging closer to the Spanish club, everybody is saying. And apparently Chelsea are ready to face off against Arsenal to sign an alternative to Victor Osimhen, people, who was linked to Bayern Munich. It is Mr. Moise Kean, people. The 25-year-old has had an erratic career, showing initial promise at Juventus before going to Everton. It didn't really work out. He's been at Paris Saint-Germain. He does have 15 goals in 26 appearances this season, people. And he scored twice for Italy in the 3-3 draw against Germany. He's now having interest allegedly from Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, and Aston Villa. He's got 52 million euros release clause. We'll have to see, really and truly, in that regard. Barcelona, as well as several clubs, are being linked with Francisco Trincão. I did a video when he was at Braga. I don't think he's kicked on since then. Apparently, the buyback clause for Barcelona ended in 2024. The Portuguese star has been linked with Man United, Arsenal, and Newcastle for whatever reason. Man United are aiming to be the ones to test it. But again, Amorim's Portuguese. Anything Portuguese related via nationality or the players that play in Portuguese teams, it's a bit like Arsenal doing the Spanish thing. Well, the journalist is very easy. Now, in my opinion, Motta got sacked. So expect to get linked with more Juventus players beyond, in my opinion, Vlahovic and Andrea Cambiasso, who Arsenal, Liverpool, and City have all been linked with. We know Juventus need to balance the books. And apparently the sacking of Motta means they will need extra income to balance the books by June 30th. So expect those links there. Arsenal as well as Liverpool are still being linked with Chiro Hato, people. Real Madrid remain interested in signing Saliba this summer. That hasn't gone away. Manchester United and Arsenal are keeping tabs on 2 Olympiacos wonder kids ahead of the summer transfer window. Babis Kostalos and Kristal Mozakakis. One's a striker, in it. Like we keep getting linked with them. We've gone over the that stuff. So yeah, people. And obviously, you know, the content always has the content. Make sure you go and check out the other bits and pieces when you leave here, people. Got Kenny Ken and the boys at 4 p.m. I might have to delay that slightly by an hour if the boys will let me. What else have we got? And don't forget this as well, folks. Big up my guy T. He's a very good coach, actually. He's coaching now. He's had a wonderful journey. He's coached at Arsenal. He's coached at Spurs. He's coached at West Ham. We spoke about youth staff around youth development. We spoke about Wanyeri, Max Dolman, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and a couple of other things. And big up Mr. Battered in the comments there. And obviously, Love United, Hate the Ops, as well as T. And obviously, Karma there, man. So yeah, the content is always contenting for you guys, people, man. Mr. Underrated and 103 likes. Big up you lot, man. I'm good for 5 should need be. Aaron, my guy, man. Yeah. 5 ting. I apologize. Today's there's a lot of, you lot can't see it, but I can see my emails. A lot of things are being done. A striker alone won't fix Arsenal, but a striker alone would have helped this season greatly. Yeah, we would have scumbagged a couple more wins. And Trincão has 19 GA in 25 games from right wing alone. He's having a good season. Is it a purple patch, or is this the season where it's now he's doing, I'm here to stay now. I'm here to establish myself. I'm here now. Because we need a winger. Might not break the bank. It makes sense. And I guess you never know. You actually never know. Is the person part of the 3% or part of the 97%? Just asking. What do you mean? Or you talking about my analytics? I'm not sure, man. Big up my guy, Aaron Talks Arsenal. Make sure you're following his channel, man. Come on, don't violate us, man. Help the Arsenal brothers. Yildiz is cold, man. I think it's just very unlucky for him in that. Not unlucky because you can still shine, but like Arda Güler is the golden boy or the golden young man of Turkish football. Yildiz is cold. I don't know about 90 million euros at this moment in time, but he's sick. Apparently, Southampton want 100 million for Diblin. Probably English tax, youngster tax. Clearly the tactic of pricing him out of a move because they don't want him to go. I think he's got 2 years left on his deal and there's been rumblings about a new deal. I'd love him, but the guy, man, they know they're not getting 100 million at this moment in time. 11 goals conceded in the league. That's banged in over 1K, like 20 plus clean sheets, championship or not. He's good with his feet. It's a no-brainer. You talking about Gyökeres? I'm having Gyökeres tomorrow. I just think they're not going to go for him unless push comes to shove. He hasn't kicked ball here. Big up you having conversations in the chat. You know what? I'm going to do a new rule. If I don't understand it, I'm not going to get involved. Next 20 years is going to be very similar to the last. Strap in, no change coming. But also in attacking areas, we shouldn't be bringing anyone in who isn't Saka level. We need to push in and get in another Trossard. Martinelli keeps us stagnant. I hear that, but who are we going to buy at this moment in time that's Saka level? Like, let's just focus on right wingers. We know, and being a bit silly, but we know we're not getting Salah. We know we're not getting Yalmao. there might be a next one. So surely we're gonna have to be a bit cut down. Jonathan David could be a market opportunity. I wouldn't mind him being in the squad, but for me, I would like I'm dreaming. But if you got me a Gyökeres or Isaac, and then you get me Jonathan David, he's in the squad, can rotate in and out, challenge, all of that stuff. I'm for that, but I don't think it's realistic to have two strikers, Kai Havertz, as new centre mid, a left winger, a left back, a goalie or two, and anything else Arteta wants to do in the summer. Remember when they said they would swap Martinelli and money for Mbappe? Behave, Sadiq. If Southampton make anything more than 20 million for Diblin, congratulations to them. No disrespect to Diblin, but they'll be doing well to get that money. Sane and Sesko. I think we should leave the Sane thing. If worse comes to worse, I'm on it, but I'm not on it, man. I'm not on it. Just go big for the striker. Get me some like mid-range players, like Domane of Southampton, and he went off and done what he did at Liverpool. The Isaac of Sociedad before he's known at Newcastle. Get one of these ones now, man. Because we're not going to go do that. Leao and Ferguson. Leao's going to cost a pretty penny, though. Trafford's cold. I just don't think we're going to spend the money on Trafford. He used to follow me on Twitter and then he turned pagan. Maybe I should agenda him. I don't think we're going to spend the money on Trafford for him to be second choice. I just don't think we're going to do it. Because what he's about, he's easily going to be about 40 odd. If I was Newcastle, I'd be scheming on Trafford, though. I think Sane will be free. Guess that means he's coming. It's true. But you just never know, man. There's a lot of whispers where the transfer news is considered, man. That's why I'm more than happy to go online and have a discussion with you lot and think about hypotheticals. But beyond that, it's not going anywhere. But I'm conscious of time, people. I need to race around to get some certain things done. The good news is I'll be back at 5 p.m. Big up Aaron, DJB, and Kenny, assuming they can change that. Will be there. There's content that's come out already, and I appreciate you lot that's tuned in, man. Please leave a comment after the end of the stream, and most importantly, take care of yourself and your loved ones, man. We'll link up again soon. Safe, man.